Alright, so I put my bed in. So I can tell you now the second part of my story. Alright, so anyways, like we was at the hotel, we ran away. They was like, you're the only one that you have the least amount of trouble on your head. So they were like, you gotta get the car. Alright? I think that's where I was at. Has to be. So I go get the car. Right out from underneath the police's noses. They're looking in the room and everything. The police are right there, but they don't know how to recognize me. They didn't know who I was. They were looking for him. So I didn't even know how to drive a car. Let me be honest with you. The first time I tried to drive a car, I took some Klonopins. I was about to fall asleep. And I already went to the club with my friend, and she was drunk. And then we got pulled over, and I got my license suspended until I was 19. Even though I didn't have a license, they were just like, you can't get one until you're 19. So I didn't know how to drive, period. So they were like, all right, this is how you drive. You got to put the car in, in reverse. You got to back it out. You got to put your seatbelt on. Well, I think I was like, all right, first I got to put my seatbelt on. And I was like, what do I do now? They weren't with me. They told me this. And they told me this. And I'm all scatterbrained. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. I get the car out and everything. I'm driving all slowly down the alleyway. Because they got in the car once I got into the alleyway. And then, I'm like, I'm scared. I don't know how to drive. Lauren's like, let me drive. So I let her drive. She does not know how to drive, but she drives like a fucking maniac. Like, people drive like they don't care about their lives. That's how she was driving. And I used to ride in the car with people that drove like that all the time. My parents didn't care about me either, so they expected I wasn't going to come home one day. They tried to sacrifice me to the devil and everything. Like, alright, so I'm just driving around with crazy people. All the time I'll sneak out at night, and I know God was all like watching over my life, because I was not meant to be alive. Like, I was supposed to be. I rode in the car with people that were on the interstate swerving all over the road, and then they would stop at 7-Eleven and buy more alcohol. And some dude in his 30s, that was my friend. And anyway, so they're like, you have to go get the car. I get the car. She's driving now. And it's the next day. I don't know where we slept. I think we slept in the car. So the next day she drives like a maniac, and we're stopping and we're inhaling air duster. And then we do the air duster, and then she's like, go into the store lids and steal some more air duster. I gotta steal everything. I used to steal the steaks. I was the best at stealing. She couldn't even steal, because she would be talking to the employees, flirting with them. That's gonna help her steal or something. It's not. So I go steal the air duster, and I got the industrial strength, and they were like, what are you trying to kill us? You got the industrial strength? So we're inhaling industrial strength air duster, computer cleaner, and huffing it, and then we started doing it while we're driving. He was passing out, he couldn't stay awake. He was passing out. She's slapping him in the face, wake the fuck up, wake up. And then he would wake up, and then eventually she decided she should drive. He was like, I've never let anybody drive my mama's car, but I'm gonna let you drive it. So she drives it, right? And then I don't know, we were driving around maybe the whole day, and then we went to sleep in the car. We wake up the next day, we're driving around, same thing. But this time she ended up crashing the car, because we're all so fucked up. We haven't ate anything. All we're doing is air duster. We went through 7 cans. We got cans all over the floor. In a day, we go through 7 cans. So next thing you know, boom! All I know is I'm screaming. I think she just whoop! She just swerved the wheel. She lost her mind. She didn't even know what she was doing. That's how you get when you're on air dust. You pass out too. So I think I was passed out in the back. I'm laying across the seat. So we get hit. Boom! I might have died. If I didn't get hit by a car. I might have been out. You can die from one hit of that. So next thing you know, I'm flying across the car. Boom! Boom! I'm boom! Swoo! Woo! The whole car is spinning in the midst of traffic in the biggest intersection, and we get hit head on, several times, hit by different cars. The car comes to a stop, and I was like, ah! I'm screaming, and they are passed out. They can't even move. They're dead. I'm oh no, they're not dead, but they're bleeding. They're not moving. Oh my God, what do I do? This dude's call the police. I was like, the police are fucking right there. Oh my God, there's a police right there. I'm like, fuck. So then they wake up suddenly. Like, they probably heard police and they woke up. They come to the consciousness. They like, oh, struggling to get out of the car. I'm just like, are you okay? Her face is red. It's been hit by the airbag. It's like scarred. It's like really fucked up. He has this huge cut. The whole windshield is cracked. The whole front of the car is smashed. Like the windshield was like caved in. And he got a split all the way up his arm from his elbow to his wrist. And he had tattoos, so all his tattoos were cut in half. And oh my god, I'm in the middle of the street kind of. Let me back up some. Too far up. Because I guess I could be there because that's a turning lane. But I have never crashed. Not a single day in my life. Not a single day. People always be like, drive safe, because they be thinking I'm going to crash. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm in a bad headspace, I will not crash. Like, that's because driving makes me feel better. So anyway, I don't worry about that, because I know my grandma never crashed neither. And everybody say, oh, she drives like a race car driver. All they do is like make fun of her. Like, all they did until she died, and then they still made fun of her after she died. Anyway, so we about to go to the hood though. We about to go to the hood. So anyways, what was I gonna say? I used to live here too. So anyways, I used to make the most money I ever made when I was in the hood. Cause I'll be knowing how to, like, I knew how to get money. So anyways, and that was just what we were focused on. So anyways, like, but before that, let me go back to my story, right? So, Lauren was like, and I did come here one time. I don't know where it was at, but yeah, around these parts, I came on the bus. At this same time, like, me and Lauren were hanging out, right? She goes to jail because she already, like I was saying, that their charges were more better than mine. Like, not better, but, I mean, like, they had, like, accumulated a higher record than I did. So, they were like, if you get in trouble, you probably won't end up going to jail, like, for breaking your probation and all that. Like, so, anyways, we're caught now. They tried to get away, but they couldn't. Like, I could have ran away, but I didn't want to be on my own. So, I just stayed with them, and plus they were hurt, so I didn't want to leave them. And then, I rode with them to the hospital. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I look bad. Like, I look shocked. Like, I was shocked at my appearance. I didn't even look like myself. I look pale. Like, all that air duster, like, made me look unhealthy and stuff, and it really messes up your brain, too. So, anyways, it can give you, like, permanent brain damage. That's why she was always dumb. Because she used to do that a lot. She was spaced out, airhead. So, anyway, like, that's where I used to live, 35th Street. And that's where they shot the music. This is where they shot the music video, Lil Durant. And, like, while I lived there, they shot it. But my boyfriend would never let me go outside, though. And I didn't care. But anyway, I didn't like him, though, for real. So, anyway, like I was saying, like I was saying, so Lauren, she had to go to the basement of the hospital where they put the bad people, and she was like handcuffed to the bed. And I mean, this is a little blonde, like, girl, but she was crazy though. So anyway, I go home and I just pass out on the couch in the sun porch, and I'm asleep. My mom wakes me up and she's like, Elizabeth, what's wrong with you? You never sleep. Are you on drugs? Because you're sleeping? And I'm like, no, I'm not on drugs. And she's like, well, I don't believe you. So we're going to go to the hospital, and I'm going to get you checked out and see if you're on drugs. And I'm like, okay, well, we can go to the hospital then. Because I did think I had, like, I thought I had an STD, and I did. I had, like, well, I'm pretty sure I did. Because they just gave me the shot for it anyway. You know, I'm pretty sure. But it could have just been a yeast infection or bacterial or something. Anyways, so I got that cleared up anyway, so I was like, okay, cool. But I go to the hospital, and I'm like, still like, wow, this is the first time I knew God loved me, because all I got was like a bruise on my leg. And I'm amazed because they got really fucked up and I didn't at all, you know. So like, you could really get shot out here just for filming. Like, people will think you're like a fucking police officer or something. So I'm just this is the street I used to live on though. And also, I don't want to get hit by a car because I'm trying to be focused. Like, yeah, and his family used to live over here. See, I used to just want to live with somebody that, like, had a house that could, like, protect me. Like, where I could just, like, I knew how to, like, scam and, like, oh, that's where I used to live right there. And also, the church people from Portsmouth across the water over there, they told me, look how they're tearing down these buildings. They told me, dang, this was the projects. I used to drive past here and see girls beating each other up outside on the streets. They would just be fighting. Look, they're just tearing it down. Where are these people gonna live now? They'd stay tearing down like projects and stuff, and then say that they're gonna move the people somewhere, but I don't know where they do move them to. But they did build all this new stuff, so I guess that's where they moved them to. That's how they look like before they get torn up. So anyway, but me and Lauren, we would be like she wouldn't know where she was at if she was out here. She would be like thinking, like, she would be like, where are we even at? I'm like, we're like downtown Newport News. She would think, like, she's from Yorktown, so she wouldn't even know this was like Newport News, because we would be mostly in like the part I showed you in the other video, the Midtown. But I would be everywhere because I was from Hampton, so no, I would be like in Hampton. I would usually be in Hampton. But if somebody was driving me around, because people just like to drive in their car, then I wouldn't know where I was at. But people would be like wanting me to like walk their children to the store. If I was hanging out here, they would just trust me with their kids. They would just think, they just knew I was a good person. They could just tell, and I was never scared to go anywhere. I used to bike ride all the way down here from where I lived at when I was like a little kid. I would be like 8 years old. My mom wouldn't care where I was at. But yeah, I used to walk around this street right here. This is a crazy street right here. This is where people used to hang out at. They would be like out on the streets. They would just be walking down the street, like with agendas, like with stuff to do. Like they would be just killing people. Like I used to just sit out there on that stoop at that store. This was the place. Like the mother would like send me to that store right there. And then when we were deep at the store, the police came and they were like, you can't be at the store. I think that was the house that the kid used to live at, random kid. And the person knew I was like what I was doing and stuff, and they didn't even care. Everybody out here does bad stuff. Everybody, like, and they don't even think it's bad. They even like raise their kids to be bad. So anyways, I just think it's beautiful, just the way it looks and everything, just so architecturally like appealing. So anyways, like it just looks so sentimental and nice. And anyways, so I just like to explore places. Like when I was a kid, I would bike ride down here. I'd be like, oh, I'm in the hood, you know. I'd be like, I'm in the hood. Like I don't know why I liked it. So I was like all right, so boom, I come back from the hospital, and then I don't know, I was just extremely bored. Like my parents wouldn't let me leave the house. I just felt like I had no motivation. I felt like there was no hope for me. Like they weren't trying to let me do anything. Like they were just trying to lock me up, like lock me away. Like I didn't know what was coming for me. Like so I just felt like I gotta escape again. Like I don't want to be here like locked up. I don't know, the air duster had got to my brain where like I wasn't thinking straight. I was like, let me just run away. I want to be on the streets again. I'm like I was like an animal. I was like a wild animal that was like you can't cage the animal. You can't. So I just ran away on my own, and that was the worst thing I ever could have done, because now I was by myself. Like, and I even came downtown. I even rode the bus down here. And there was this dude, and he, like, named Justin, but he was a black Justin. And then I fucked him. And while I was on, like, while we were having sex, Lauren calls from the hospital and stuff. She's like, you should come and see me at the hospital. You have to pretend to be my sister, Leah. And I was like, I can't come see you because I already tried to come see you, and I gave them my ID, and they said I can't see you because you're in the bottom, like, you're below the jail where I cannot go. So then she was like, dang, why didn't you wait for me to call you and tell you what to do? And I'm like, because I wanted to see you. I already tried and I couldn't. So then, it was like, dang, that was just that. Like, the authorities make the rules. You can't do nothing about it. So anyway, so then this dude Justin was like, he's like, who do you know and stuff like that. And I told him all the dudes that I knew that were like my gang and stuff, and he was just like, I know who they are, but they don't know who I am. And he was like, it's like a war zone out here. So anyways, I'm pretty sure he was like killing the people that I knew or something, but I didn't care because they didn't fuck with me for real anyway. They didn't care about me. That looked just like the ditch I was on in my dream. But anyways, like, where I saw King Von, and I walked through the field. Anyways, so, and it was cold outside too. This must be a meeting point. The Lord and me, and this is where Shayla used to live, my boyfriend's cousin's friend. But anyway, this is like where I got lost when I was a kid one night on my bike. I couldn't find my way home. And then, anyway, like, I was just gonna say, just a random kid on a wheelchair with a baby. Well, what was I gonna say? So, there's a lot of bad people, but the people from Hampton are like, never mind, I'm just not gonna say anything. People that I knew from Hampton, when I tried to, they're worse. They're like really terrible people. But anyway, they trying to just disperse themselves because they didn't want to die. So nobody even like hangs out outside, like, and they just do drugs. That's all anybody does, is just do drugs. But the people at Newport News, they sell the drugs, right? They sell the drugs. They kill more people. They fight more, so they raise their kids to be bad. When you go to Hampton, it's like they want to oppress their kids. They just want to make them feel like shit. So anyways, like, excuse me, but I'm from Hampton, so yeah, my parents oppressed me for sure. So, what am I saying? They're not originally from Hampton. My parents are not, like, from the hood. So, they are, like, really just bad people, though. But I used to ride my bike down here. So, anyway, what I was gonna say is, after all that stuff happened, I got drunk. I was with the people from Hampton. They took me back to Hampton. They put me in the back of a van. And, I would hang out in Hampton, though. So, I was in Hampton. I don't remember anything. I just was like, I'm just going to get drunk like I did with Lauren. But now I'm with my niggas. But I thought, that I should trust them just because I know them. You know what I mean? But I don't remember anything except for the police being behind me. And I'm thinking, like, all right, when the police get close to me, I'm going to punch them in the face and I'm going to run. I'm going to swing on them. And I went there once. They said my brain was very good. They were like, it's superior for your age. So I get to jail. I'm happy to see Lauren and everything. Everybody's like looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm screaming with happiness to see her. And then she's telling everybody I'm crazy and stuff. Anyway, I'm like drunk. And then I don't know what happened, but when I got back out, I asked somebody like, what happened? Why did I go to jail? They were like, basically, we were running a train on you. And then you started tripping, and then you stole on Tutu, meaning I punched him in the face, and then we threw you out of the back of, or they threw you out of the back of a van, and you were just screaming in the gutter, crying, and then this lady called the police, and then you cussed her out for calling the police, and then you jumped over a fence, and that's how you got into LaSalle Gardens, and that's when the police were behind you, and that's when you tried to punch them in the face, and you fell on your head when you jumped over the fence because you were really drunk. And that's how you got all scratched up and bruised. But also, I think they beat me up too. I think that they also beat me up. So, but I did have some little like red bug bites on me, like as if I got that from jumping over the fence or being in the bushes. Me and Lauren, we used to get so drunk that we would be covered in bruises from like falling everywhere. We would like fall all over the place, fall off of stuff, like. So people didn't really think we had a future. They thought we were just like gonna die, but she did die, but. I always was thinking, like, we'd be locked up together, and I would be thinking that me and you, we can really make it, like, we can really get an apartment, like, we can really, like, save up our money and stuff like that, and she just didn't care about doing anything but drugs, though, so, and having sex, and, you know, I'm not gay. It sounds like I'm gay, but I'm not, so, that's where my mom's friend Lisa lives, and, like, that day that I first, like, got high on, like, I drank a whole bottle of Robitussin and took 15 Benadryls. It wasn't okay. I went over there, and, they didn't even care about me. I was, like, thinking, I need to go to the hospital or I'm gonna die. Like, I got sent home from school. My blood pressure was over 200. And it's never that high. Like, I always have great blood pressure. And, I couldn't pass. That's where I used to live at. Anyways, that's where I used to go to. Those were the good days when I was like a little kid. And, but it's witchcraft covered. Everything around here is covered in a heavy layer of witchcraft. All these people are evil as fuck. They're all psychopaths. They're just like sacrifice the life of their children. They try to make me an Illuminati sacrifice. But anyways, I just feel like the attacks of the devil. I rebuke them in the name of Jesus. Like, so anyway, me and Lauren, we would sneak out of that house over there where I was living. That's where I was born at and everything. But we would sneak out and like, yeah, that's how we escaped. Like, I don't remember how. We had to go back home one day. We had to go back to my house. My parents were like, if you come home this one day when I was with her, you won't get in trouble. We're not going to call the police. And like, for some reason, like, my cousins from out of town were there and stuff. And then, but me and Lauren, we just went into my bedroom. She was very like actually strategic in planning and like making sure that, like, see, me and her, we were a great team because I was just figuring out how to escape and like how to not go to jail and stuff. And she's figuring out how to actually be comfortable. Like, she's like making sure we pack up enough clothes and everything, and makeup and stuff like that. And she just had like, her dreams were on her shoulders just like mine's were. Like, we were down to do anything. Like, there was nothing that we weren't gonna do. Like, we were like, all right, we're gonna jump off the roof, and that's how we're gonna leave. Like, we're gonna climb out of the window. I was like, I know how to jump off the roof. So she's just like, okay, cool. And she's not acrobatic like me, but she was just like, okay, cool, I'll jump off the roof too. We'll meet these dudes at 7-Eleven. We'll run away again. Like, well, we had to be home one day. But while I was home, I was home while she wasn't for 1 second. I was just like, she was like, all right, we got this plan. Like, Michelle and Richard are going to drop you off at your house. And then, like, because your parents say you have to come home. Because I saw my brother one day, and he was like, he was all disappointed in me and crying and stuff. And he's just like a pussy ass bitch. And he's just like, he didn't understand anything. Like, and then all his friends died. All his friends got shot and killed. So, but he never tried to protect me or anything. So that's why I called him names. And because he'd beat me up for like me feeling obligated to have sex with guys, or literally getting raped or something, and me not having anybody to like love me, or like anybody to protect me from anything. And I'm just like, I want to be a good girl. Like, that's all I wanted. Like, that's impossible, because these people are not good. These people are covered in witchcraft. These people are not good people. There's no such thing, at least not around here. Why is that building over there glowing? You can't see it. Anyways, yeah, I used to be so innocent. I used to go kayaking out there, but that wasn't because my parents. It's just because I hadn't done anything bad. Yeah, everybody does bad things, but then the parents will like back them up to do bad things. They keep on like backing them up, but not really actually backing them up. They'll be oppressing them, but then wanting them to be bad, but then oppressing them. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, they just want to go against God. Look at that giant skeleton. They want to go against God, but they don't want to admit it. Like, they want you to be bad, but they don't want you to be actually hating them. They don't want you to actually go against them because you actually want to serve the Lord. You actually want somebody to correct you in a right way, not a way that they actually want to oppress you so much that you have to like escape to leave. Like, they want to make it impossible. They want to make you feel like you can't get out if you don't escape. That's how I felt. Like, that was how it was. Like, I couldn't leave at all. And they want to, like, break you. They want to, like, break your spirit. They want you to serve the devil, which is what they are. These people are of the devil. So, anyway, they're all, like, confused and corrupted. And even if they die and go to heaven, they're still going to have to die. All of them. Every person in these cities are going to die. Because nobody's my friend. Nobody's ever, like, been a ride or die except for Lauren. And, but nobody else. Like, you know, that was where, like, Ricky's dad lived. That people are, like, halfway. They're, like, halfway there. But they fall short. Like, you know, they'll be, like, you know, agreeing with me. They'll be on my side. Like, people were my friends. But they can't go all the way like I go. They can't really hold on all the way. They submit to the authority at some point. They like submit to the devil at some point. So anyways, and then I used to go over there to my friend very, very bad for him was like, he started hanging out with people over there, and they would smoke crack and stuff. He probably smokes crack now too. They all do. Ugh, they're just all disgusting. Even the people in the hood, like even the people in the hood, they corrupt their children. They do witchcraft too, because they'll be racist, that's a witchcraft spirit. Any spirit that's like against you and you're a child of God is witchcraft. That's the devil. So, because it doesn't matter your color. If you're of God, like I'm saying, they're going to discern it, and they're not going to treat you like bad just because you're white or just because you're black or something. Like, anybody with the spirit of God in them is going to treat people like they're supposed to be treated. So, this is Darling Stadium, where they have like football games and stuff. And this is the library. When I was homeless, I used to like hang out over here, because I didn't want to live with those witchcraft people, the people that oppressed me and stuff. So I would just like, once I got saved, I was just like homeless for a little bit. And then I walked to Newport News because these bitches actually wanted to kill me. Like, I was at the porch with the people that were supposed to be like my gang and stuff. And they were like, Chamanda, Twin, and Skinny Black came by in a car. And they were like, we're going to smoke Liz. Where is she at? And I came to that porch right after they were right there. Like, that's when I came to the porch, after they had just left. And then there was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, how do you know how to be at the right place at the right time? Because you just missed it. Like, they were just about to shoot you and kill you. You know, like, I don't know. That's a weird way to phrase it, but that's how they said it. And these people are dangerous. But not in a strength way. These people are dangerous, like, in a bad way. But it's like you go against them and they will want to kill you. Like, or if you fuck their man that's ugly and nasty and a piece of shit anyway, they will want to kill you. But then they lose their homes and stuff because all they're focused on is the wrong thing. This is where they used to live at, right there. And then in the back of that house, I used to sleep in the shed, and it would be 103 degrees out here. It would be 103, and I'll be asleep in the shed. I used to be able to pass out anywhere. Like, it's like gonna be 15 degrees tonight, and Michelle is sleeping in her car, and she's like old as fuck, and she's like, I left a note on my door. Saying, look, if you need a home, go to Victory Gospel Chapel. They're open 24/7. But you can't stay with me because she's evil. She's a witch, and I'm scared of her. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not scared of her, but like I like witches. Like, creep me out. Like, you know. It's just, and then it's gonna make me look bad because it's like, people can't, like I'm telling you, they can't grasp the full picture. They don't get it. They don't get it that in one way, nobody wants to deal with these evil spirits. No good person, because I'm telling you, like, they're halfway good. This is where I used to be at. There's like, I used to love the little girl over there. She was so precious. And Alana, she was like my baby. That was the first time I realized like how people like love their kids. Like, I'm like, I feel it. This could be my baby. So anyways, because her mom just didn't care. She would just drop her off. I mean, she would just be there like, on the weekend. That's it. Or she would just bring them on. She would just pick them up on the weekend, bring them back all week, and then I stayed there for the kids, not the man over there, not the grandma. They were crazy. They didn't like me for real. I would read the Bible, and then I would read to the babies, and then this dude would be like, oh shit, like, what the fuck, who reads the Bible? Like, and they were like really like just disgusting, and like did tons of drugs, and like would be like about to die like off the drugs. And then they would think that it was my fault because I used to do drugs. I was conflicted on the same drugs that I now saw all of these dudes doing. So I'm like, just because I'm a Leo, they follow me like I know what I'm doing, and I don't. Like, I'll be just as lost. I was just as lost as anybody. Like I told you, they thought, oh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna OD. They used to say that I barely survived. They told me I barely survived, but that I survived because of them, because they let me stay at their houses. But that so that was like the bond that we had. But I would just drink so much. I remember throwing up so much. I would spill stuff all over the bed. Like, the bed was covered in Kool-Aid and beer stains. And, well, I didn't really drink beer. I probably did a little bit, but like liquor. Because I'm trying to figure out what the bed was stained with. You know, it was stained with stuff. Like, this is Hampton. That's where Wanda lives. that is crazy where she lives at. Let's go by Wanda's house. Yeah. So these people try to corrupt their neighborhoods and stuff. And this is where the white boy lives. That was like schizophrenic. That would just go out to the road over there and just shell road and just kill black people. He would be possessed by demons. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, all these people are gonna die. Everybody, because they're all evil. Well, like I was saying, some people, like, they get it like that, like a doctor told me one time, he said, you're not crazy, you're just a really nice person. I'm like, how are people gonna see that though? And he's like, well, they can just tell. People have a good judge of character. So that's what it is. It's like judge of character. So people want to cut off people who have who they feel like this. That's where Wanda used to live. I don't think she lives there anymore, but I don't really know. People can feel it, like when they feel like this is a bad person. You get it. Your instincts start to pick it up. That's how my neighbor is. Like, everybody thinks that she's a bad person, but these people are like the seeds of the devil. You can kind of pick up, like, this is an evil witch, this is a bad person. And then their whole agenda is to try to ruin your life and everything, and to try to come across as like, oh, well, you got to accept this person. You got to, the world can't just turn them away and just destroy them. You know what I mean? But they can, and they should, and that's what they should have done. And that's what they failed to do in the Old Testament, is to kill these witches. So they've corrupted society into believing they have to be accepted. So they want to make you look bad for, like, not letting them stay at your house or something, when nobody else will. They think that, oh, you've got to be that good person that's going to let them come in. That's what the Bible says to do, But then nobody does that. Nobody's, when you pick up, like, a sense that this person is set completely 100% against you. The spirit in them is completely the spirit in them is completely against you. But you're supposed to let them come into your house and stuff like that. No, you're not. That's what they think. I used to stay there too. But you're supposed to let them come into your house. Or you're crazy. They're going to make it seem like you're crazy or something. But I don't care. They're going to make it seem like I'm a horrible person, because I'm doing the same things everybody else is doing, not letting heathens in. But they think that I don't know that. They think that I don't have the same spiritual awareness they do or something. They think that I have to be the exception, like the one that's going to save somebody. Like I told you in another message that nobody listens to. Nobody listens to it though. But that, no, everybody cannot be saved. That these people do need to be cut off, like Jesus said. It's better to cut off that part that has the disease than to let the whole body get sick, because that's what they will make you. They will make you sick. They will make you so sick that you can't stand it. And in any true child of God, true Christian cannot stand it. Like, one way or another, they will explode with anger, with rage, and they don't. That's what they want you to do too. That's why so many people are locked up, because they couldn't stand it, and they tried to, and they didn't know they weren't raised to have boundaries. Like white people, especially, like, they had to deal with this until they just explode. So whether you nip it in the butt, black people too. There's a small percentage of these people that are black, so we're not excluding it like that. Black people don't go through it too. That is another problem in the black community too, is witches and stuff. Even Africans pray against them. This isn't just new. This isn't just made up in the white community. This isn't just like that white people are witches. No. There's black people who are witches too. There's a smaller percentage of dark-skinned witches, but there are some. So anyways, it's like 3% of black people, but 15% of white. 50% of Hollywood. And why do you think they call it Hollywood? Because that's where they create the witches' wands out of, is the Hollywood. So anyways, but this area definitely, like, you see what God did to Hollywood and to all those rich places over there. How he caught it all on fire. And then, to be honest, most of these so-called Christians really think God is the enemy for destroying places like that. They really be like, oh, they try to be more humbler than God. They try to be like, oh, but the poor people, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, that's how they make themselves feel, like, oh, but God destroyed us, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, oh, it's just like everything's ruined, we gotta build back the communities. You know, they're witches. Don't let them fool you into thinking that God is terrible. Yes, God is more terrible than you could ever imagine. You would call him a witch, you would call him a demon, but that's what you are. That's what they are. That's what they want to make it look like God is that. That's what I'm saying. They want to make it look like you are that because you didn't even know better than they did. You didn't know better than they did. You were born on this earth same as they were born on this earth. You did drugs same as they did drugs. You got fucked up. You did the wrong thing because nobody taught you right. But then, because they thought that they saw some anointing on your life, they could tell there was anointing on your life. So they saw you as a leader, but you led them astray because God meant for it to be that way. Because if they're not strong enough to use their own strength to know the truth, to steer you in the right direction, when they knew what the right direction was, and they didn't, how can they expect that you're going to lead them in the right direction when they're lost? I tried to. They didn't want to listen. They didn't even want to listen. Like, people just decide to give up on God. They decide, even if they see a miracle happen to somebody. Like, I used to do drugs like I was telling you. And when I came back around, when I was staying at that place where I was like, the little girl was so cute. When I was staying there, they saw I did no drugs. And I was shocked to see that they're on all the drugs I used to be on. And they used to call me a junkie. And now they're junkies. They're fucked up. Like, they were getting stuck. Like, they couldn't even move. Like, they would be fucked up, drooling. Not able to move. So, anyway. I don't know what kind of drugs they were on, but they would be up all night in the shed in the backyard. Just vagabonds. Nowhere to live. Just hanging out like they're really doing something. They're not doing anything. Scared to go anywhere. So, okay, I'm about to go back home. I'm about to go back up Jefferson. So, you know, people have just turned from God. So, everybody's like, oh, God must love this area because nothing bad has came yet. But what I'm telling you is the worst will come to this area. Just complete destruction and devastation. And I've seen it. I've dreamed about it. Dead bodies laying in the streets over there, where those rich people live, on the streets. The water filled with blood. Like, because these people have turned from God 100% completely. Like, they will make it seem like I'm crazy. There's no like, oh, you're halfway right. No, they want to be like, you're crazy, you're wrong, like about everything, because they don't want that to be true. They don't want the truth to be that they're all gonna die, and that these homeless people are just victims of witchcraft. There's nothing really wrong with their brains. Like, they're just afflicted. So most of them, and that they don't even want anywhere to live. Sometimes. So what I was gonna say is, I'll show you how it turns all the way around, how it goes from like dirt poor to like extremely rich, how this is Babylon. The poor get poorer and the rich get richer. And that in the Bible it says, in Isaiah it said, he looked for a good person, he couldn't find one. There was no one to judge. Nobody righteous enough to judge man. And that, you know, he saw the way that the poor people were living, like the stupidness, the drugs, the way that they didn't know how to know right from wrong. Oh, I'll go and I'll find a rich family that can show them the right ways, like somebody living rightly. Because back then, and in the Psalms, it talks about the rich being blessed. It says God is like the riches in your household. God is what uplifts the righteous, and like, you know, if you're winning, you know, that's God, that God done that. Like, that's what they believed in the Old Testament. But they started seeing, like, why? I mean, because even David everything's kind of contradicts itself, because even David would be like, I don't understand, God, why does the rich get rich? I mean, does the wicked men prosper on this earth? Like, so many prophets would be like, why are you letting the rich men profit on this earth? Why are you letting these ungodly men continue in wickedness and not get punished for it, God? And then, because they, in their heads, they're also sometimes saying, like, that God is what preserves the righteous man. God's what keeps him safe. God's what keeps him with money. All the things that are earthly, you know, and that is still the way we pray, honestly. That is still what we believe in. But until God, which I'm telling you, we're ahead of everybody else. But when I say this, that we're at the point where we don't care about our lives. We don't care about our money. We don't care about our careers. We don't care about anything. We don't have anything. We don't have a family. We don't have anything, because the witches have prayed against it so much, and they have made oaths with the devil. They've signed our names. They have pricked your finger. They have taken your blood and sucked out the plasma. They've taken, you know, and traded it in secret spiritual markets. That's what they're doing at all these plasma centers, where people go and sell their plasma and donate it and make money off it. So they get money for their plasma. But anyways, I went and I almost did it, but they pricked my finger. So I'm saying that, like, people, Christians want to pray against these attacks of the devil that they've already carried out where I live at. These attacks have already been actually came into effect, where, like, everybody who was righteous, who God truly loves, life is ruined. They don't have money. They don't have love. They've been beat up and ruined. They've been dragged through the mud. They've been made into harlots. They've been prostitutes. But these are good people I'm talking about. On drugs. You know, there was a boy named David, and he was on drugs, and his name was Crack. Also, they called him Crack because he was skinny since a kid. And his parents did drugs, and he was just skinny. And he never, ever knew any other way but to do drugs. And then he'd be blown in the wind like a tree. He'd be on fentanyl and stuff. People would just laugh at him. And then he probably died, you know? And, these people do drugs, and they're just a joke. Like, nobody expects anything different from them. Everybody, it's like, okay, that was already written in their evil, like, rituals. Like, all right, this one, cross off the list. This one is the next to die. Like, this one's gonna be a drug addict. Like, so many black people killed each other on the news. Like, it would be like multiple homicides every single day. Do you understand how many people live here? 1 million people live here. So if they're just dropping like flies, it's like, what is it for? It's to uplift the bad people. They're sacrificing these people. They're getting them to kill each other. And it's the most oppressed area in this whole world. People are so oppressed because why don't they make YouTube videos? Why don't they go on social media and say anything? Because they feel cringe. They feel dumb. They feel like they don't want to. Like, if you look up, like, Lil Durant, the rapper, he's got, like, a lot of music videos. But in an interview, he said, nobody, like, I should have went all the way downtown to where there was, like, portraits of the black people. Like, Mary J. Blige, something. I don't know, Georgia O'Keeffe or somebody who was from here. I don't even know. Or Timberland, or these people that are from Virginia, but that they don't help anybody else get anywhere. And I don't know.